Fourth order of the day
is Hon Bassey Eko Ewa. I represent the people of Abi and Yaka Federal Constituency, and I am from Cross River State. Mr. Speaker, I stand to move that a bill for an act to amend the Police Act, Cap P 19, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria 2004, and the Police Regulations 1968, respectively, to prevent continued infraction of Section 42 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, as amended, by the requirement of female police officers to request prior permission of their Commissioner of Police before undertaking marriage, and for related matters, HB 1233, be read the second time. Cross River State. Mr. Speaker, with great pleasure, I am standing here to lead the debate on a bill to seek to amend Section 23, Section 124, and Section 149 of the Police Act of 1943 and the Police Regulations Act of 1968, respectively, to prevent its continuous infraction of Section 42 and, of course, Section 315 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, as amended. Mr. Speaker, Section 42 talks about discrimination based on sex, religion, or place of birth, etc., while Section 315 of the Constitution talks about existing laws. Mr. Speaker, my dear colleagues, marriage is controlled either by the church, both the Islam and Christianity. And in Christianity, we have procedures and ways how whoever wants to get married can seek for consent, parental consent. And the Matrimonial Causes Act clearly provides how consent can be obtained. And of course, the age limit within which parental consent is even a prerequisite is when you are within 21 years of age as a female. But Mr. Speaker, my dear colleagues, the Police Act clearly provides that for a police officer who is a female officer that wants to marry must first seek the consent of the Commissioner of Police for her to go into that contract, which of course is an infraction of her fundamental right. My dear colleagues, the Act in Section 124 requires a female police officer to seek and obtain the permission of the Commissioner of Police and or the IGP for his consent before attempting to exercise our fundamental human rights of going into marriage. Mr. Speaker, Section 1, Section 13 of the 1999 Constitution clearly provides that any law that is in violation of or is inconsistent with any provision of the Constitution is void ab initio and should be so declared as illegal and unconstitutional. Mr. Speaker, my colleagues, the Federal High Court, sitting in Lagos in 2012, declared Section 124 of the Police Act of 1968 illegal as it violates Section 42 and Section 315 of the 1999 Constitution as amended. It is therefore our responsibility, my colleagues, as lawmakers, to amend this section in line with our laws. By separation of powers, the courts of law are not permitted to enact or amend the law. Their duty is only to interpret the legislation as passed by the Parliament, as it has been done in the instant case under review. Mr. Speaker, is a case of women empowerment and legal aid initiative and Attorney General of Lagos State and the IGP. This matter was delivered in 2012 by my Lord, Honorable Justice Jonah Ada. Mr. Speaker and my dear colleagues, It is equally very imperative to amend Section 23 of the Act, which allows a police officer to go on transfer from his station to a new station when he or she is a witness or an investigating officer or a prosecuting officer in a pending case or matter before the court of law. We propose that it will not help in a situation where a matter is in court and it is the police officer who carried out the investigation, or he has already started the prosecution of the matter in court, to be transferred out of his station. That will help to delay prosecution of cases that are before court. The purpose of this proposed amendment is to prevent the undue delay in the prosecution of cases due to the transfer of investigating prosecuting officers, considering that the fight against corruption is one of the policy thrusts of our administration. It is necessary to support this fight by strengthening existing laws and enacting legislations that will encourage a speedy and uninterrupted prosecution of cases. We must be conscious of the fact that major indices for measuring the success of the fight against corruption is on the effectiveness with which our laws, legislations are drafted, enacted, and enforced swiftly. Mr. Speaker, we equally intend to amend Section 124 of the Police Act that deals with special promotion. The way the section is presently drafted creates room for either the IGP or the Police Commission to carry out promotions of junior officers that seems to head their senior officers, and it's affecting the career of some police officers. Mr. Speaker, I have few examples to give. The former Commissioner of Police in Adamawa State was in active policing for just 2 years, Mr. Speaker, after his training as the police academy. He left the academy in 1996, posted to Benue State, where he did his 1-year attachment, and later posted to State CID from 1997 to 1999, before he was appointed ADC to the former President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. He served in this capacity till 2017, by which time he was promoted unjustly to the rank of Commissioner of Police. Mr. Speaker, while most of his classmates are still chief superintendents of police, he is now in the Institute of Policy and Strategic Studies, meant for senior officers, who joined the police force in 1986, whereas he is a 1994 cadre. Mr. Speaker, another very interesting example is that of the Commissioner of Police, Lagos State. He was given the action appointment barely 4 months after his promotion to the substantive rank of Deputy Commissioner of Police. He now superintends over his seniors. All other senior officers working under him were hitherto his seniors, now serving in the capacity of Deputy Commissioner of Police. My dear colleagues, the Police Act provides that an officer's promotion shall be premised on the following grounds: seniority, vacancy, and performance. Therefore, the amendment sought is to allow the Act, as it concerns police officers' promotion, to follow strictly the aforementioned criteria, as special promotion affects not only the psyche of other police officers, but also negatively impacts productivity in the Nigerian police force. Mr. Speaker and my distinguished colleagues, the need for professionalism and merit as a criteria for promotion within the Nigerian police is very imperative at this moment. Considering the fact that recently in November last year, just last year, the Nigerian police was ranked the most unprofessional in the world, and of course, as the most corrupt police in the world. My dear colleagues, I seek to amend also the regulations to allow female police officers who are married to be allowed to seek posting to to where their spouse or spouses resides. It is a tried fact that women are the home builders in every society, and as such, being in the police force should not deprive them the opportunity to so do. My colleagues, an unconfirmed percentage of women police who are separated or divorced due to incessant transfers is put at roughly 75%. While the Act, in one vein, provides that a female police officer must apply and get the consent and/or permission of the Inspector General of Police to get married. My dear colleagues, in another vein, it provides that a female police officer shall be posted as if they are not married. What a contradiction. Mr. Speaker, we equally intend to move to amend that rank and file police officers should not be transferred immediately after their training of 6 months out of their areas, their catchment areas. For example, if you're from Cross River State, or you're from Akwa Ibom State, or you're from Ekiti State, and you just finished your training as a rank and file, they are called constables, and you are transferred to Sokoto or Borno, Mr. Speaker, in some cases, these are those who have never traveled out of their states or out of, in fact, their local government areas. And they are sent to go, just for their first assignment, to go and work in Sokoto or Borno State. They don't understand Hausa. They don't understand Kanuri. It will make it very, very difficult for them to carry out, their functions as junior police officers, which roles is purely investigation, arrest, investigation, and might be trial of case reports before their senior officers. That is the reason why, my dear colleagues, we propose that for junior rank and file officers should be deployed within their catchment area or their zoopolitical zones. Mr. Speaker, my dear colleagues, I call on you to support this amendment to pass the second reading. Permit me to add that all amendments sought are geared towards ensuring total eradication of obnoxious practices encapsulated in the Police Act of 1943. I urge you, please, to kindly support for this amendment to pass to second reading. Thank you very much.
The question is that the bill be now read the second time. Those in favor of the motion say aye. Those against it say nay. The ayes have it. Clerk is invited to read the long title of the bill.
Honorable Speaker, honorable members, a bill for an act to amend the Police Act, Chapter P19, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria, 2004, and the Police Regulations, 1968, respectively, to prevent continued infraction of Section 42 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, as amended, by the requirement of female police officers to request prior permission of their commissioners of police before undertaking marriage and for related matters. Second reading.